Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Lindsay, and I'm with Enrollment Services here at the Division of Continuing Education at the University of Colorado Boulder. Thanks so much for joining us for the webinar today. Today, we're going to be joined by Graham Douglas, who's a continuing education academic advisor, and Suzanne Klassen, who's the Director of Student Services at Continuing Ed. Today we'll be going over a few different things, including an overview of enrollment terminology, an overview of the types of courses that are being offered, questions to ask yourself, and how to find the best path forward. So this theme of the webinar today is about whether to enroll at CU Boulder as a degree-seeking or a non-degree seeking student. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind everyone that there's a spot for you to ask questions on your dashboard. So as the presentation is going on and something comes up, go ahead and ask those now and we'll address them all at the end. So without further delay, I'll turn it over to Graham and Suzanne.
Hi, and thanks for joining us today. As Lindsay mentioned, we'll start out by discussing some of the terminology that is used in higher education to explain different enrollment options here at CU Boulder. Our first term today is degree seeking. Degree-seeking students are those who've applied through the Office of Admissions at CU Boulder and have been admitted to a bachelor's degree program. This population is what people most commonly think of as a college student. Degree-seeking students must have met the criteria to admit to CU Boulder. They might be first-time freshmen, transfer students, or students who already have a bachelor's degree and are coming back for additional coursework. While the end goal for most degree-seeking students is to earn a bachelor's degree, some students may choose to enroll as a degree-seeking student simply to earn prerequisites for a graduate program. Our next term is non-degree seeking. Some students or some schools refer to non-degree students as guest or visiting students. Students who are non-degree at CU Boulder apply with a one-page free application through continuing education. Students with the non-degree status are earning CU Boulder credits on an a la carte basis. These credits will be reflected on a CU Boulder transcript and may be applied toward a bachelor's degree or serve as prerequisite credits for a graduate program. Non-degree students may enroll in one class at a time, or they may choose to enroll full-time. Some may enroll for just one semester, and others are with us for multiple semesters. At CU Boulder, both degree and non-degree students may enroll in classes in a variety of formats. Continuing education offers fully online classes, classes for college credit that are offered in the evenings, applied music classes, which are small group or one-on-one music instruction for college credit. Non-degree seeking students wishing to enroll in on-campus daytime courses on a space available basis are enrolled through what we call the Access program. These courses are the same courses that most degree-seeking students enroll in. Students interested in junior or senior level science courses or natural science labs will enroll through the Access program.
Okay. And now we can talk a little bit about, I think one of the first questions that we want or we would recommend that students might ask themselves, and that's, what's your goal? Are you looking for an undergraduate degree or a graduate degree? CU Boulder has over 90 different undergraduate and graduate programs, so there's a lot of opportunities and options there. You may be looking for transfer credit to transfer courses back to your home university. We can certainly help kind of guide you through that process as well. Or maybe you're looking for some courses to take as for personal or professional growth. So I think with this first question being kind of what's your goal, it's a good question to ask. And if you don't know the answer to that, one of the things that I think I'd recommend is that you go ahead and actually schedule an appointment with us, because we can actually help you, drill down into some things and help you identify some goals if you haven't been able to get that yet either. So, so certainly do, feel free to schedule an appointment with us, and we'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the webinar. But I think that's one of the central themes that we'll come back to a lot is please do feel free to schedule appointments with us, because we can help you talk through all of these different options. So looking at our undergraduate admission, so one of the things that we want to talk about a little bit, of course, is whether you should apply as a degree seeking or a non-degree seeking student. So really this comes down to, do you meet the requirements or not for admission? And if you do meet the requirements for admission, for our most undergraduate programs in the College of Arts and Sciences, they're looking for a 2.5 transfer GPA or better. Or if you're looking at business or engineering, there's some prerequisite courses there and some GPA requirements there as well. So if you meet the requirements for admission, generally speaking, it's better to go ahead and apply as a degree-seeking student. However, if you don't meet the requirements for admission, or if you have some questions about that, or you're not sure that it's the right time for you, it might be better to apply as a non-degree seeking student. But again, with the I guess the caveat that if you are at all unsure about this, please always do feel free to schedule an appointment with an academic advisor here in continuing education, and we can kind of help develop that plan for you. Whether that's applying as a degree seeking or non-degree, we can kind of look at your unique situation and help you get into that. Some of our students may be looking at graduate school admission or professional school admission. And so this process can be certainly a little bit different, but a lot of the same kind of concepts still apply. Students looking at graduate school may be pre-health students looking at getting into a health profession. They may be career changers. You may be looking at exploring some of CU Boulder's graduate programs. We have over 65 different graduate programs, and so there's a lot of opportunity there for graduate school. We do have a lot of interest with computer science students, and we do have a new post-bac computer science program starting in spring 2018, so feel free to contact us if you have any questions about that, and we can kind of help you look at that. Because if you're looking at a graduate degree in computer science, there's quite a bit of prerequisite coursework that you'd want to complete before being a competitive applicant for those programs, and we can kind of help you navigate what that looks like. Some students may be applying to graduate programs, and in order to be a competitive applicant, they may need some upper division credit at the undergraduate level, and we can certainly help you identify some of those courses in conjunction with your graduate program of interest and help you look at that. So there's a lot of different opportunity to help students who are looking at the possibility of being a graduate student to take classes as a non-degree grad, to take classes in a program before being formally admitted to the program, and to kind of explore all of those options. So we do have a lot of options for our students looking at graduate degrees. And again, I'll come back to it one more time. Please do feel free to schedule an appointment with us to kind of talk about your situation, and we can help you develop that academic plan to move forward. Another situation where students might be considering taking courses with us is going to be to transfer credit. So if you're looking at completing a degree at another institution and you have the opportunity to take some courses here with us at CU Boulder to transfer those back, we could certainly help you with that and talk about that process as well. Generally speaking, it's better to apply as a non-degree student to take courses just to transfer them back to your home university. And as you're looking at this process, it's certainly one where you need to be in contact with your home university to find out what their transfer credit policy is like, and then we can kind of help you, look at the CU Boulder side of things and what it means to take courses as a non-degree student and help you transfer those courses back. So I guess the other opportunity that students might be looking at for taking some courses with us would be through, for developing some personal and professional growth. Again, we've got over 3,800 different courses offered at the University of Colorado Boulder. So there's a lot of opportunity to take a course in something that you might be interested in. And so you can take those courses as non-degree. You could even look at non-credit or auditing courses. So there's just a lot of opportunity. So if there's just something you're interested in studying, you want to know more about, and we have a course in that field or in that subject area, come talk to us. Schedule an appointment with an academic advisor, and we can help you, go through that process and see what it looks like to enroll in a course, and help you reach those goals that you have for yourself.
Great. So Another question we encourage students to ask themselves are, what are your priorities? And the two biggest competing priorities for most students are time and money. Students should ask themselves if completing coursework as quickly as possible, typically as a full-time student, regardless of the price, or paying a lesser amount each semester, but taking longer to complete coursework, that would be typically as a part-time student, is a higher priority. As you can see from the slide, if you're planning to enroll part-time or only in the evening or online classes, or if you want to ease back into school or just take one class, enrolling as a non-degree student is a great option. If your plan is to be a full-time student enrolling in daytime classes for the fall and spring semesters, applying through the Office of Admissions as a transfer student is likely a better option for you. That's not to say that non-degree students can't enroll full-time. They certainly can. There just may be some additional obstacles in the enrollment process. Regardless of your interest in enrolling full or part-time, enrolling as a non-degree student will be a more cost-effective option. We've highlighted the financial advantages if enrolling in classes as cheaply as possible at CU Boulder is your top priority. Again, as Graham stated, if you have questions about these competing priorities, scheduling an appointment with an academic advisor can save you a lot of time and research. We have this conversation with students on a regular basis, and for each individual student, the choices may fall toward time or may fall toward money. So feel free to schedule an appointment with us to discuss your options.
Okay, and I think one last important question to ask yourself as you're considering taking some courses with us here at CU Boulder would be, what's your academic background like? What is your GPA from an undergraduate degree or from your previous academics? Some programs have GPA requirements, and so we'll want to take a look at that. So if admission into a certain program is part of your plan and part of your goal, we'll want to see what it looks like to make sure that the courses you take with us are helping you to improve that GPA, or your GPA may already be there. So kind of looking at your academic background is certainly a good place to start. That also can include some specific courses that you may need in order to gain admission into certain programs. We can help you identify which specific courses you would need to take or might need to take. And we work very closely with the undergraduate admissions office, and we can also put you in contact with graduate program coordinators and assistants throughout the university, so that we can get the answers to these questions and find out which courses might be a good fit for you. And then I think last on the slide, but certainly not least, is time away from school. Has it been a little while since you've been in an academic setting? I like to think that it's a lot like riding a bike, and that you don't really forget a lot of these skills, but sometimes it's important to kind of brush up on some things as you look at rejoining some academics. So we can certainly help you navigate that process, kind of find out where you're at and kind of what your academic background is, and help prepare you to be successful in the courses that you're hoping to take with us. There's a lot of resources on campus that we can take advantage of here. So if you need writing support, we have opportunities for that. Time management skills. There's all sorts of different things that we can help you with as you consider returning to academics, and it can be something that can feel kind of daunting, but that's why we're here, is to help you navigate this whole process. So as you're looking back at your academic career and asking yourself this question, what is your academic background? Please again do feel free to reach out to us here in academic advising, and we can kind of help you look at this and again help develop that plan forward.
So we would just offer that if there are any questions that this webinar didn't answer for you, or if after watching this you decide that you would like to follow up and meet with an advisor, do feel free to schedule an appointment with us. All you need is an email address to set yourself up in the system and schedule an appointment with an advisor. In addition to academic advising, we do also offer pre-health advising and career advising here at Continuing Education. And in addition to that, Jennifer Long is an admissions counselor for the main campus here at CU Boulder, and she also has office hours at the Continuing Education building. So her contact information is on the slide there, as well as our general advising email address. So do feel free to follow up should you have any additional questions.
All right. Thank you so much, Graham and Suzanne. We'll address some frequently asked questions, and we do have some questions from the audience as well, so I just wanted to remind everyone to go ahead and submit any of those questions that might have come up during the presentation. So the first one, can I take online courses not for credit?
So we have several different grading options that are available to students for all of our classes, and one of those options is non-credit. So the traditional grading option for all courses is to receive a letter grade for the class. That is one thing you can choose when you enroll in a course. Another option is to take a class as pass-fail. And that would be a grading option you can choose, again, when you sign up for the class. The third option is to take a class for non-credit. And you do formally enroll in the course. The tuition would be the same as a student who was enrolled for credit, but it's just a grading option that you would choose. We do sometimes get the question, can I audit an online course? And auditing is only available in a face-to-face in-person class. Auditing is where you simply sit in on a class, you don't do any of the coursework, you're just there to absorb the information you can attain in a lecture format. And auditing is not an option for the online courses.
All right, thank you. Next question, are there courses offered in both in classroom and online at the same time, so that if the person was in town one week and out of town the next, that they could mix and mingle? I know there's a hybrid option on the website.
Yeah, we have hybrid courses where for our evening courses you can take, let's say a 3 credit hour course, and 2 of those credit hours are done in person, 1 credit hour is done online. So I guess that that could work. So you're in class, let's say 1 evening a week, and then for the 2 hours at a time, and then if you're traveling for business or other things, so you can complete that remaining credit hour online. But as far as is the question about taking one course and kind of taking it in a face-to-face format and then also taking it online?
Yes, kind of at the same time. So if they were gone for like a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't think that that the hybrid doesn't fit that.
Yeah, the hybrid doesn't really fit that much. Suzanne, is there anything that you're familiar with? Like some of our
Yeah.
graduate programs, I guess, have something like that,
Yeah,
but
the distance option.
yeah.
Yeah, we would typically encourage a student, if they're going to be traveling and miss more than 1 or 2 classes in a typical semester, to simply enroll in the online version of that course.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thank you. Next question, where does a student go to apply as a degree-seeking student?
So that's going to depend on if they're applying as a undergraduate student looking for a bachelor's degree, or if they're applying as a graduate student looking for a master's or a PhD program. So, but it would all be through the Office of Admissions. So applying as a degree-seeking student will be handled through the Office of Admissions, and we do work very closely with them. So if you have any questions about kind of how to approach that, or you'd like to schedule a meeting with us first, we can certainly help with that and kind of figure out timing.
Okay, that makes sense. How does a student know who their advisor is?
Well, I guess for us here in continuing education, we usually have same day availability for advising, and we don't have any kind of specified system for saying this is a student who would work with this advisor, or this is student would work with this particular advisor. So really, for us, it's just whatever is convenient for your schedule, and if you're able to schedule an appointment with us that works, then you can come in and see that advisor. Many of our students like to, after meeting with one advisor, like to continue and have follow-up appointments with that same advisor. So for students coming through continuing education, it's really just going to be what's convenient for them.
Okay, great. Next question. Will the credits that the student takes as a non-degree student transfer to their degree program?
Yeah, absolutely. We get that question a lot. And credits taken as a non-degree student, those are CU Boulder credits. You're starting a CU Boulder transcript when you enroll as a non-degree student. So students do have to go, if they decide to move from a non-degree student to a degree-seeking student, they do still have to go through the formal admissions process, but their credits and their GPA will follow them into either a bachelor's program if they were enrolling in undergraduate credits, or a graduate program if they were taking non-degree graduate courses.
That makes sense. That's awesome. And then if a student wants to transfer them back to their home university, what would the process look like on our side?
Sure. So since they have a transcript from CU Boulder, they could just log into their MyCU Info portal, and they could request an official transcript be sent back to their home institution. We also get the question a lot, I'll just add on here, how do I know if my credits will transfer back to my home institution? And we do strongly encourage students to be working with an academic advisor from their home institution to make sure that the CU Boulder credits will transfer back the way they think that they will. And that's not a determination that we can make at CU Boulder. That's something that the home institution, it's always the receiving institution that makes that determination.
All right, that makes sense. Oh,
Yeah,
go for it, Graham.
well, I was just going to add on to that as well that some institutions do have like a pre-approval process as well, so that you can be certain ahead of time that the courses you take with us would transfer back to your home institution. So that's another good reason to reach out to them.
Good place to start. All right, and then last question: can you tell a student which classes they need to take to get into graduate school?
Well, we can help them identify some particular courses that could be a good fit for them. We'd work with the graduate program specifically. I guess when I get that question a lot, and I very often will recommend that the student connect with their graduate program directly to kind of find out where they're at in the application process, what they would need to be a competitive applicant, and if there are very specific courses that they would need to take in order to be that competitive applicant for the program. In some situations, absolutely, there are some very specific courses that graduate program may require. In other situations, there may not be. So it's always a good idea to, I think, connect with that graduate program directly, and we can certainly help make that connection, for students.
All right, awesome. Okay, I think that is it. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thanks again to Graham and Suzanne. If anyone does have additional questions, again, feel free to make an appointment with one of our advisors. And then just like the email address on the screen, they're also available via email. So that's ceadvise@colorado.edu. Hope everyone has a great day.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.